Well, hey everybody, this is Connor here with Born Financial Coaching and the Born Financial Coaching Show. If you were able to catch our episode yesterday, we were talking about, some of the disciplined ways to stay debt-free once you've hit that milestone. And you could almost sort of think about it like a two-parter or sort of other side of the coin. And today I want to talk to the folks that really feel like they're struggling with that, right? It might be a little bit of the numbers, it might be a little bit of the emotion, it might be a little bit of everything. Um, but you can feel really behind the eight ball when you're paying off debt. You can just feel some of that emotional stress and anxiety. And hopefully today, first off, I want to acknowledge that, it's as simple as pulling out the calculator can be. There's a mindset that needs to shift too. Um, but then also do want to dive into some numbers and maybe share a few tips that are going to help you take that next step to get on that debt-free path. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen here and we're going to get right to it. Well, as you could see here, right, we're going to be taking some notes today. And this first thing, this first bullet point, I just want to talk about, right? It's the emotional toll of debt. And I don't want to talk about it in terms of a way to just sort of pile on where you might already be, but it's that acknowledgement of, saying you can maybe live without this emotional weight and this emotional toll in your life. Let's be honest, debt isn't financial, it's emotional. For many people, debt brings guilt, shame, and anxiety. You might even feel isolated, like you're the only one dealing with it. But that's not true. Debt affects millions of people, and feeling stuck doesn't mean that you failed. So before we jump into some strategies, I just want to say, give yourself some grace. And I'm going to type this because it's really important. You're not behind. You're in the process of you're in the process of building something better. That all starts with your mindset. Instead of focusing on how you got here, focus on what you can do next. It's not about the blame, it's about the progress. And speaking of progress, you will need some strategy. And that kind of comes into bullet point number 2 here. And that's strategy versus shame. Here's a truth that I do like to talk about with folks, and that's shame doesn't pay off debt, right? Feeling bad about your debt doesn't pay that off, but your strategy does. Beating yourself up for past decisions doesn't change your balance, but setting a plan, that's where the progress happens. So let's stop asking, why did I do this? And instead ask, what's my next step? So here, in terms of strategy versus shame, let's just remember shame doesn't pay off the debt. Strategy does. Remember, you don't have to fix everything all at once. You just need to move in the right direction consistently. And that brings us here into section 3, choosing a method that works for you. Let's talk some strategy now, shall we? You've probably heard of the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods, but there is a third approach that I've seen resonate with some folks. And we're going to get to that here in a second. But first, let's just review that debt snowball, right? The debt snowball focuses on paying smallest debts first. Um, it's all about the momentum, right? Quick wins that build you confidence. You still make the minimum payments on everything, But then that extra payment from your first balance that you paid off goes into the next smallest balance. And you keep on, snowballing but before you know it, you're going to have a nice big chunk of money that you're throwing at that last debt. Once that smallest debt is gone, you roll it into the next smallest one and so on. Right? So let's just remember, debt snowball, momentum. Okay? Debt avalanche. We're going to do this. Bam. Okay. The debt avalanche is all about the math. If you're more numbers driven and like to save money on interest, which we all do, but you got to complete it, the debt avalanche method is your way to go. You prioritize the debt with the highest interest rate, which may not bring fast emotional wins, but it is going to be the most efficient long term. Okay, then we've got the debt mountain climber. This is more of an emotional approach. You start by paying off the debt that weighs you down the most. Okay? Weighs down the most. Maybe it's tied to a tough time or a decision that you regret. This method helps you feel like you're finally moving past that burden. It's less about math and more about the mental freedom. So which one is best? Honestly, it depends on your personality, your motivational style, and your financial picture. So if you're unsure, a financial planner such as myself can help you weigh the pros and cons in your specific situation, because there really isn't a one-size-fits-all solution here. Okay? But when you do pick that plan that works best for you, you are going to start to have some small wins and you are going to build that momentum. Okay? This is the small wins is the big word here. No matter which strategy you choose, progress is built on small wins. Don't underestimate the power of paying off that first card, making a second extra payment, or simply staying consistent for a full month. Wins like that are going to build momentum, confidence, and belief that change is possible. Even when the mountain feels high, keep track of those wins. Celebrate them. Use them as fuel. So let's just remember, keeping track of even the smallest of wins is critical to momentum. If you're trying to do this alone and it feels like it's too much, it's okay. Debt elimination doesn't have to be a solo project. A lot of folks try to make it a solo project and you end up going backwards a lot of times. Working with a financial planner can give you structure, can give you accountability, and can give you a roadmap that's tailored for your specific situation, not someone else's. It's not about having all the answers today. Okay, it's about having a partner in this process that can help you make thoughtful and strategic decisions that align with your picture. Here's the most important takeaway from today. You're not stuck, you're starting. It might take some time. It might feel slow. Every step forward matters. Shame and overwhelmingness, they don't get you out of debt, but action does. With the right mindset and clear strategy, you can build momentum and keep going. And if you want help building a plan, well, that's what I do. Schedule a consultation in the link, and we'll talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we can get there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And maybe if somebody, is down because of their current financial picture, maybe this is encouraging to them. I'd really love if you wouldn't mind sharing this episode with a friend. So thanks so much and looking forward to next time. See you soon. This has been Connor Bourne with Bourne Financial Coaching. Connor is an independent investment advisor representative affiliated with Registered Investment Advisor Strategic Blueprint. Everything discussed on the financial front today are principles that can be applied to certain circumstances that may or may not be yours. Therefore, please do not consider this individual advice because I don't know your circumstances. If you would like to receive some personal advice, please reach out through my social medias at Born Financial Coaching, or you can email me at cborn@bornfinancialcoaching.com.